listen.
We talk about a variety of issues, starting with our OB series called 40 Weeks. We talk about a lot of the questions that come up that you actually may want to ask, but never have the opportunity to ask. And so we want to talk about common questions that you might have during your pregnancy. And we welcome if you would send your questions in so that we will know that we are addressing the questions that you have in mind. So our pregnancy series is called 40 Weeks. It's new, it's just starting. We put something out every Friday on the 40 Weeks series. The other series is geared to GYN issues, female issues, and that's called Today's Woman. And today will be a segment of Today's Woman, and I will be talking about a topic that is often not discussed, and it's the start of your menstrual cycle. For young girls, what to expect, and for their mothers, how to deal with these changes. I can remember my first menstrual cycle. I told my mother, and what she said, the only thing I can remember her saying was, "You can get pregnant now." Now, at that time, that wasn't very helpful for me. I had no interest or understanding as to how one would get pregnant. I certainly didn't want to get pregnant, and I wasn't trying to have babies. I mean, it was just a few years prior that I had stopped playing with dolls. So not helpful at all. I can't say that I did much better with my two girls. Now, I did buy the books, What's Happening to Your Body, and there were limited discussions about changes they may be experiencing. But what I didn't do, I didn't talk about how these changes were due to the fact that they were now producing estrogen, the main female hormone, and estrogen was causing changes in their body. And these changes would affect how other people, specifically how men and boys would look at them as a result of these changes. And how do they protect and respect and take care of their body? And how do they understand the changes and the sexual maturation that happens over years that hopefully will then allow them to engage in a loving, sexual, mature relationship of their liking. And then they have the opportunity to decide what they want to do in terms of procreation. So I started the conversation, but didn't complete the conversation. And so this morning, I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about the changes that are seen as a result of our estrogen levels starting to increase. This can start as early as the age of 8. And what's usually noticed first is that there is breast development. And this is usually an obvious change to you moms. When you see that happening, know that even if she isn't menstruating at this point, her estrogen levels are increasing and the changes have begun. And this is a good time to start having conversations. After breast development, which is an outward sign that sexual maturation is occurring. The second thing that's noticed is pubic hair. Now, this is very interesting because a lot of us spend money getting rid of our pubic hair. And we need to make sure that our daughters understand that pubic hair is normal. not something that you need to be ashamed of, and really not something that you need to get rid of. Getting rid of pubic hair turns out to be a personal choice, not a necessity, and it's not done for health reasons. After breast development and pubic hair development, the next thing that normally happens is the onset of menstrual cycles. And this basically means that the estrogen levels are cycling each month. She releases an egg. If that egg isn't fertilized 2 weeks after ovulation, which is the release of the egg, 2 weeks after ovulation, if there is no fertilization of that egg, she will shed the menstrual lining, and that's called her period. So this starts to happen, but I have to emphasize that in the beginning, menstrual cycles aren't necessarily regular every 28 days, and she doesn't necessarily ovulate on a regular basis. This is a process that occurs over a time period, and that time period is years. And this is what she needs to understand. This is what we need to relay. So the beginning of sexual maturation is a wonderful time to begin having a conversation, which will extend over the years. In the beginning, it's important for her to understand what is happening to her body. The blood is not an accident. It's actually a sign of maturation, and it can be celebratory. It doesn't have to be frightening. This is a wonderful opportunity in the beginning for her to know the names and of her anatomy, know what an ovary is, a fallopian tube, a uterus, a vagina, know those terms. It's important for her to understand how to care for herself, basic things about how do you prepare yourself, or what do you need to have in the event that your cycle is coming on. How do you clean yourself? How do you do basic hygiene? These are beginning conversations. Also, if your daughter has a smartphone, this is a wonderful opportunity for her to start to track her cycles. That way, the two of you can see, are her cycles coming on a regular basis? Are the cycles lasting too long? It provides a lot of information and gives an opportunity for you to have a discussion. Now, on the more delicate topics, sex, how they will be perceived by men, how do they protect themselves, that's to come. Hopefully that's to come. But for right now, she just needs the basics and to know that it's not a curse, and it's a sign of maturation. I look forward to talking again about what do you do when you have abnormal periods or dysmenorrhea. There is so much more that can be said, but for right now, this is the beginning. Take a look at your daughter. Let her know that this is a perfect time for the two of you to start dialoguing about the changes we experience as women. And so until the next time, I'm Dr. Rahman. Send me your questions. I would love to hear from you. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share with another woman, share with a young girl. I look forward to having lots of conversations on Today's Woman. Remember, we have the OB series 40 weeks, and we will continue with our interviews of Black women that we want to shine a light on because of the great work and their strengths and their achievements. Until next time, take care and peace.